Hey guys, Bill Seamantail here from the BBZtv. Great Bear Lake, the round two. We did some tube fishing earlier in the day. We're coming back to the same spot. The beautiful thing about fishing in the Arctic Circle, it doesn't really ever get dark. I mean, we're fishing 14 to 18 hours, and at nighttime when the sun goes down, it's at like dusk. It's like 7 o'clock our time, so we're getting full days in on the water. We're gonna do some trolling now. We got these huge daredevils, and we're pairing them up with some big Calcutta 400s, old school Lama class. I'm using an Inshore Classic. These rods I don't even think they make anymore. Derek's fishing a big bait special. And what's that? That's another big daredevil?
Husky devil.
That's a big Husky devil. Derek's also got it paired up with the Shimano Calcutta 400. And I'm using, I have 50-pound braid. What kind of braid do you have on that?
80.
So we have two different braid sides. I don't think it really matters with this fish, but the biggest thing is what we're doing is we're fishing with, if you can see this, we got 2 ounces of torpedo sinkers on the main line. And what we're doing is we're putting Spro barrel swivels and snaps between the spoon and our main line to try to cut down on line twist, but we're still having a hell of a time. Our line, within a day of fishing, the braid is twisted up, I mean, tight as a cord, but it seems not to affect it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start targeting main lake reefs and cuts where these big lake trout, they're gonna come in and kind of push the bait fish in. We heard that there's whitefish here and grayling. So that's the main forage, so we're using a big profile bait. We're gonna troll with the 20 horse, you know, just into gear, and we're going to target that 20 to 30 foot range depth with our baits with the 2 ounces of lead, and we're going to fish anywhere from 20 foot of water out to 80 to 100. But we're going to look for structure. We're going to find the break lines and the reefs, and hopefully we catch some fish. So we're going to just start trolling. This is the same kind of stuff you do up in the Sierras, you know,
Sierras, or even at the lake fishing for bass. We're just looking for structure. If we can find cover on the structure, great. But we haven't
found much cover out here. We found some grass and back pockets for the big pike and stuff, but you know, there's some boulders out here, but more, it seems like it's more reefs, right?
That's right.
We heard in August, September they start coming up and spawning and rubbing and stuff. We're early August, so we're before the big spawn.
Pre-spawn.
We're pre-spawn, so same kind of stuff we're looking for the big largemouth.
Water temperatures right around 44, 46, a little higher in the shallower water.
Okay, well, and then real quick, we got to take another look at his spoon. I call it the Plaid Monster. It looks like a 1950 throwback, but Derek's been whooping my fanny on that thing. So let's go out there and show you how to catch some of these fish trolling at Great Bear Lake in Northwest Territories. Okay, we're getting ready to start a troll, and what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to troll through this main line. We caught some tube fish there earlier today, and we worked all the way back in this cove, didn't do anything, and we're coming back out, and now we're going to troll through it. What we did with these big Husky devils is we took the treble hook off and we extended the split rings. We put a couple more number 5 90-pound Spro split rings on there. We have an 8/0 Gamakatsu mean bad to the bone hook, and it's got to be barbless up here, so we actually smashed down the barb, and then we put the Spro snaps and swivels to help with line twist. So that's our rig. What this does is extending the split rings. It doesn't bind as much, and those fish, when they start to roll, you don't have as many of them twist off. That's the key. So let's get out here and see how long it takes us to try to hook into a big Great Bear Lake trout. Okay, I'm going to drop this back a little bit, get it started, and I'm going to free spool it. I'm going to give it a 30 count. Give it a 30 count right there. And I'm going to turn around, make sure my drag's buttoned or pretty tight. And I hold the rod a little bit different. I try not to hold these bait casters like a regular bait caster when I'm trolling, because it hurts my wrists and forearm. So what you do is you turn it sideways, and we have 2 guys trolling on both sides of the boat. And this is like what we were doing, and I did a video up in the Sierras for trolling a Carolina rig for the trout. but we're gonna do it. We're gonna just watch your rod tip, make sure that that lure's working at a right kick. If the lure stops kicking, you got something on it, or it's bound up. And then what we're doing also is we're waiting. If a fish hits it, you're gonna hear me adjust the throttle and make that thing dance a little bit more in their face to make sure they get a good bite on it and we get a good hook set. So I got a really good kick. I'm gonna adjust the throttle. And if we do turns, the biggest thing on turns with especially bigger lures and lead line is you have to increase the speed of your turn so the lure doesn't drop to the bottom and snag. So, and it also helps a lot of times you get the hits on the turns, that course change.
My spoon's got a nice little thump to it, and I can feel when it's working right. You get that little rod tip pulse, and when I'm not feeling that, I'm going to jerk on the line and see if I can get that to come back. And if it just is dragging straight back there, I'm going to bring the lure in and check it.
There you go. Ooh, I had one play with it, so one thumped it right there, and what I did is now I'm going to adjust the throttle, see if they get this thing. A lot of times these trout, like a lot of trout, man, they track baits for a long time. They go back and forth behind it. They'll try to bump it. Occasionally we'll actually get one stuck on the side of the head or the tail because they're swimming by your bait. But I had one play with it back there, and now I'm going to cut in through this gut. I know it's a little bit shallower here, so I'm going to increase the speed a little bit, get that lure to lift up and over that good structure down there, and then I'm going to adjust the throttle and drop it back down and hopefully hold on and get one to hit it. Get a hit?
A couple hits.
Derek got whacked right there. So you'll watch him. He starts playing with his rod a little bit. I'll help him by adjusting the throttle on the boat. Oop, had one just come by and bump that bait, so I'm gonna, oop, there's another one hit it. To drop it a little bit, try to make that bait hiccup.
A lot of times if Bill gets hit, I'm gonna pay
There's, big, nice one. That one just crushed it. I had the drag backed off a little bit, and this is just time to, Derek gets the net ready and he gets everything loaded up, and we don't know how big these fish are, but man, they sure give you a heart attack when you stop that thing, and they scare you a little bit. So this thing could be a 10-pounder or a 20-pounder. You just never know. Kind of feels like it's got lead in his britches, but like we said, we never know if the one's comes up and its tail slaps it and you hook it in the tail, or yep, like I said, this one came up and hit it, and I got it on its side, and that's why it felt like a mule. I thought I had the lake record here, and it's just a beautiful fish, but we got it in the side, so those sharp Gamakatsu hooks did its job. Okay, I'm right at the top of my rod tip. We're gonna bring that in. Derek's gonna do a sweep on them. Okay, Derek and we just caught the fish. Derek's gonna pick it up real quick. We're gonna take a quick look at it. That's a nice little laker. We're looking at probably maybe a 7-8 pounder, and we're gonna let it go right now. We're gonna put it back in the water. Really quick release. We never even handled this fish. It takes so long for these guys to grow big. And I'm gonna turn the net up inside out, and there you go. This is the bait swimming right here. Want to do the nice kicks. Oop, there's a hit already. Sit there, and sometimes you almost have to feed them that spoon. Touch the throttle, get it to kick really good, then drop it back to them. There's a player right there. One came up and actually slacked the line. There he's playing it again. He slacked the line. There he's playing again. This guy is just all over it. Oh, got one on the turn. Something's down there. I don't think he knows he's hooked yet. These are the ones that come up and then they get all hot right at the boat. Nice little fish.
Any size?
Ah.
Better?
He's gonna get, oh, there he goes. Woo! Okay, he's bubbling. Oh, that's a nice little fish right there. You know, we'll just, we'll reach down, Derek, and we'll unhook him. Make sure we don't put a lot of stress on these guys. Get him in pretty quick. That's a solid fish, but definitely not worth taking pictures of him. He's gonna grab the spoon. Gonna do one little quick flip with that big Gamakatsu hook. And there she goes. Wow. Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
What we did is we made a big wide sweep out there. Stuck another really nice lake trout out there trolling. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna just work this big bowl. We're gonna do circles in here. Cause I just have I have a really good feeling that there are some monster trout that stage out here, and then when they're hungry, they come up in this neck down and they put on the feed bag.
You know, also the same token, a lot of times Bill will get hit. Presumably the fish will slide right over and then hit my bait. Works both ways too, and then also be sharp, because we've had countless doubles.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one guy hooks it and the other guy's reeling in real nice and steady, and he gets a second fish going. And so on this one, I'm gonna actually do a turn before I get to this shallow spot. I'm gonna do a U here on the inside, and since I don't have a lot of room, you're gonna actually hear me. I gotta pull this bait around and pull it in line before it slacks and goes to the bottom and snags. So once I get here at a certain angle, you're gonna hear me really light up the motor to get this bait back in line. And if you get a hit on the turn, the guy in the big motor, man, he's gonna be a lifesaver for setting that hook for you, because there's no other way that you're gonna be able to do it. So we're getting ready to make the turn right now, and then I gotta go fast. We gotta get the baits back in line. And once I feel my line tighten up again, and we start getting a pretty good pull on it, there we go, I feel it thumping again. Now I'm back in control of our lures, and I had to fire this boat up as fast as I could to make that turn, so we didn't lose our lures down on the bottom or our lines crossed or anything else. So boat control is absolutely critical on knowing what happens when you do inside and outside turns, when you stop your motor. For every action there's a reaction, and understanding what happens, man, it's just going to make you a better fisherman out of the water. Oh, there's a hit right there on the turn. Oh, there you go, nice head wobble. So what we did is we turned around and we did a turn in this back pocket. I fired up the motor pretty quick, and we spun that lure around. What happened is that course change, we brought that thing around, and all the directional changes with that spoon fluttering, that triggered a fish. So we were able to get one to go. So that big wide turn we did back there, and that fast boat motoring, and we converted another one to hit the bait. I don't think it's that big of a fish, but things on this, you just got to go through numbers, and sooner or later the big one's going to show itself. Oh, I see him down there. I don't think he's that big. Nice hook job on it. See how those split rings, man, they got them perfectly in the mouth. That hook went back there, no rotating, and we'll get that fish right back into the lake. Look at that. Done. Bada bing. High speed turnaround. Straighten out the line. Slow down the retrieve. Make sure that bait is working again and catch your fish. Ooh. I either had a hit or I had, nope, that was it. And you can almost see that little current seam back there. It doesn't feel like a real big fish. I think it's a smaller fish. It's just coming in, but actually putting the numbers. So now we just got to, it's just timing. You got to put your time in the water, fish the right areas, fish them with good solid foundation of top, middle, bottom, and pick the right technique for the tools you're using, and you're doing good. Oh, that fish came up to the surface. That actually looked bigger than that.
I had a follower.
That actually looked bigger than I thought. Oh, there's one on it, Derek. There's one on. There's a second. Two of them down there.
Yeah, I brought one in on when I was bringing the spoon up.
Oh, he unbuttoned. That was a quick release. The good thing it wasn't a 40-pounder, or you hear me crying. Now we put 3 or 4 fish in the boat.
Yep.
And sound technique. So we're gonna move on and maybe look for some different. Maybe we'll go pike fishing. You know, we heard that there's pike up here, and
yep.
Maybe we'll pick up the new Spro BBZ1 rat and see if that thing works.
Yeah, rat on pike, and I've heard there's some pike 20-pounders maybe.
20-pound pike.
Pike.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
Let's go see if we can find something.
I bet they're gonna like that rat.
I hope they do. Okay. Hey guys, that was real quick with Derek and I just doing some trolling, and filming wise we could do this for 14 hours, and it's just the amount of time to come over the right spot and get a big fish. We got 3 or 4 nice ones already in the past 15-20 minutes. We're gonna take a run up the lake. We're gonna look for some areas, backwater places for some pike. Hopefully we can get some fish on the new Spro BBZ1 rat. But it was fun, and we hope you enjoyed this segment for the BBZ TV, and we'll catch you next time out on the water.